Alrighty, everybody. Hey now, what is up? We got a little bit of ESEA invite action tonight, folks, here on Team Fortress TV. Thanks for joining us. We have one of the most highly anticipated matchups of the season, Ronin versus Froyotech. Of course, I do have SLIN alongside me, casting, and Mathsad on production. SLIN, this is what we've all been waiting for, man. Are you pumped?
Dude, I've been looking forward to this match all day long, man. It's all I can think about. My mind has just been Ronin versus Froyotech all day long. So I'm just pumped to see this match. I'm sure everyone out there is pumped as well. So this should be a fantastic night of TF2. We only have one match for you tonight, but can't ask for a better one than this.
No, you definitely can't. This is the one that everybody's been waiting for ever since that matchup that these guys had on Viaduct in week 2. We'll get into the specifics here in a little bit, but tonight we have this match taking place on Metalworks. Not necessarily a favorite amongst players all the time, but it's a map that I enjoy watching, and I think we're in for a fantastic game here this evening, Slim.
Yeah, I think if you were to ask Avast, like, which is your least favorite map in TF2, he would most definitely say Metalworks, and I'd have to agree with him. I think this is one of the weaker maps in the rotation, and it's a map that's been voted out of other leagues around the TF2 worldwide scene, so it's really not very popular. I think one of the reasons why it's not popular is just because it plays so slowly. The last point is really hard to push, and it's just not the most ideal map. I mean, when you think of maps that are played frequently in TF2 that are enjoyed in pugs, you look at Process, you're looking at Snakewater, you're looking at these faster moving maps, and Metalworks is one of the slower maps in the rotation for sure. So this is a map that we'll see which team it favors. I think it actually favors Ronin tonight, because Ronin's a team that likes to slow it down and play the game to their speed. So we'll see how this actually plays out tonight. The bets tonight were they were looking pretty similar, actually. Ronin and Froyotech were about 50-50, with like Ronin was at like 50.2% and Froyotech was at 49.8%. But then Pico 11 just went in deep with a 115 key bet on Froyotech, and that just put it to a 2 to 1 odds. So whoever's got their money on Ronin might be cashing in tonight.
Yeah, man, that's a big bet coming out of Pico there. I don't know. We'll have to see if it pays off for him. And like you said, those that bet on Ronin could be seeing some big bank tonight. But I don't know, man. This is gonna be up in the air. It's gonna be a good game. As we said, everybody's kind of been waiting for this one to happen, and such an odd map for it to take place on as well. As we've noted,
Yeah.
Metalworks definitely going to make things, I think, all the more interesting in comparison as, if it was on Process or Badlands, kind of one of the more staples in the map rotation. So I think it being on Metalworks should definitely make things all the more interesting. But Slin, let's go ahead here and take a run down some of these rosters. We'll go ahead take a look at Ronin here first. Why don't we take a look at them, because they have definitely been playing well as of late. As we said, their only loss this season was to Froyotech in that Viaduct game, or the Product game, excuse me. And Froyotech also only has one loss this season. But let's go ahead and take a look at that Ronin roster.
Yeah, Ronin tonight, they have 404 on Medic, Badonsky on Demoman, Rando on Pocket, Mela on Roamer, and Sugar and Yomps on Scout. This is a team that has been solid all season long. They did that loss against Froyotech, but they're on a 7-game winning streak, with every single game they've played being either 5-0 or 5-1. Most notably, they have a 5-0 victory versus EVL Gaming on Sunshine, which they completely rolled. We thought it was going to be a match of the season, because EVL was hot. They were undefeated up to that point, but Ronin stomped them. And then against Street Hoops with their new roster, with Kozan on Medic and picking up Ash on Roamer as well, they got a 5-1 victory on Badlands. So pretty big victories there for Ronin. They're showing they're very strong. I think that that loss to Froyotech, even though they did lose to the team they're playing against tonight, it caught them by surprise, because they had replaced Decimate with Clockwork, and that was the map. That was like their go-to map, right? That Viaduct is like a map that Froyotech owns. So I think Ronin, this map favors them a lot more tonight than we saw in Viaduct.
They've certainly been playing well as of late. We'll see if they can match up to Froyotech. And I mean, it's really coming down to these two teams. It seems to be trying to fight for that spot, that first place seed going into playoffs. They've kind of put themselves above the rest of the pack here, and this game has a lot of implications going into playoffs as far as seeding. and things like that. But the whole division is in upheaval at the moment, really, which is making for an exciting season. But this should be one of our most coveted games of the season. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out like that EVL and Ronin game that we saw earlier in the season,
Yeah.
where we were, so hyped for it, and then Ronin just came out and stomped. So I'm thinking that's not going to be the case, if I had to
No.
take a guess.
I would agree with you. I think this is going to be a great match. Let's go over the Froyotech roster. This is another team that's very strong this season. Froyotech at a 10-1 win-loss, and they have Ninjanik on Medic, Muma on Demo, Banny on Pocket, Patty on Roamer, and Clockwork, and Free State on Scout. This is a team that's undergone many different roster changes throughout the season, but I think they finally settled on a roster that they're happy with. Ninjanik on Medic is a good pickup for them. Free State was on his first season as Medic, and it wasn't that he was like struggling, but they were struggling with another player they had, Corsa, so that this roster swap they have, I think, suits them a little better. Free State back on Scout. Ninjanik is a solid pickup for them on Medic.
You'd say you're much happier then with this roster versus what they had earlier in the season then?
I'm much more comfortable with Froyotech having this roster. I think one of the weaker points for them, and this is something we've brought up multiple times throughout the season, is that Froyotech is a team that is not afraid to change up their rosters a little bit. They have a player like in Banny as a team captain he's just well versed in the game. He's well versed in all the classes, so he's not afraid to switch it up when they need to put calling abilities in different places. But I think having Ninjanik on Medic is just like really solid for them. But then you're up against Ronin, who's had the same roster. This is the same exact roster from last season. This is the same roster that won ESEA last season. So, I mean, I think the consistency for Ronin will show tonight, and I think that Ronin has the edge coming into this match.
Yeah, I mean they've even having that same roster from last season, and then you have to think too they've had the same core players really moving with them through the different iterations of this team. Formerly being Ascent and Exertus and
Lost in
Exertus.
Translation,
Yeah,
and Elevate and all these other names. I mean, this is a team that has stuck through ESEA through thick and thin, despite back when Classic Mixup was up against Banny's teams and they had that rivalry. This team was silently just chilling in third place, and they've finally fallen into their own, and they've hit their stride. I think this was a really great season for them thus far, and I think this will be another strong match for them tonight.
they're definitely looking to get some revenge, I'd say, on that product game that they had earlier in the season. It certainly, as you were saying before, favors Froyotech, just looking at who their scout pairing was and the kind of players that they had in that game definitely favored them. And everybody was waiting for this rematch on a 5 CP map. So we've said it, and I think we're kind of beating the dead horse. But I mean, really, this should be one of the best games, if not the best of the season. At least we hope. Hopefully we didn't just give it the caster's curse, but I have high hopes for this one. And you were saying you take Ronin in this game then?
Yeah, I mean, everyone has heard of Froyotech. It's a team that's been around for many seasons, for a couple of years now, and it's a name that people know in the TF2 community. But Froyotech this season is not the same roster that in previous seasons. As Duatna went over to Street Hoops and they lost Shade on Medic, so they took some hits to their roster. And this new Froyotech roster is still good. It's still top 2. It's just not the Froyotech that we've seen in previous seasons. And Ronin, meanwhile, have silently just been getting those wins like they do every season in the regular season. And Ronin, I think, is a team that takes the regular season very seriously, and they value that number 1 seed heading into playoffs. So I don't think they'll give up this match very easily tonight. Froyotech, they're at a 10-1 win-loss record. So that one loss they took was against EVL Gaming. It was an upset loss on Gully Wash, which was pretty tough for them to swallow. I think that Froyotech have made that roster swap since then. They did take a 5-3 victory versus Street Hoops, their old roster back when Ninjanik was on Street Hoops and Free State was on Medic. And then last night they took a 5-1 victory. They got the revenge against EVL on Metalworks. So Froyotech have proven that they can beat other playoff contenders, but this is a playoff contender unlike any other that they're up against tonight.
Yeah, it certainly is. As I was saying before, this has some big implications going into the playoffs, as these two teams have kind of set themselves above the rest for the most part here. I mean, of course, you did have Froyotech losing to EVL at one point and then beating them, but I think looking at the big picture, these are definitely your top 2, and this game is kind of trying to settle the score as to who that number 1 team is going to be going into playoffs. But it really has been just a great season so far. I mean, Froyotech, as you were saying, doesn't have that same dominant roster that they've had in previous seasons, and it's made things, I mean, quite exciting. Not that other teams didn't have a chance to beat them in previous seasons, but it's just not as good of a roster as they've had in the past, and they've been transitioning. Still a fantastic team, and it's led to a very interesting season of Invite.
Yeah, I think heading into the season, like if you look at the preseason and you predicted who's going to win Invite, everyone would have said RONIN would be the victors. I think that their recent sponsor pickup in RONIN is the right choice because this is the strongest team in North America heading into the season and currently in the season. And for RONIN, they're just looking to stay consistent. They're just looking to keep on getting those wins. I think for Froyotech, if Froyotech can get the win against RONIN tonight, they'll even up their records and put Froyotech at 2-0 in the head-to-head, which will give them likely the #1 seed heading into playoffs. So this is a match that's basically going to figure out who is going to be 1 and 2 seeds heading into playoffs. I think the rest of the season has been pretty one-sided, as everyone expected. RONIN and Froyotech as the 1-2 places. Yeah, I think if Froyotech were to take a loss tonight, they'd be settled for second, and they'd be happy with that. And as far as the rest of the season goes, third and fourth place is looking like EVL because they've had such a strong record so far, and that fourth place spot is still up for grabs. So, yeah, we'll see what happens tonight here as we head into the match.
Yeah, we are headed live, folks, and we appreciate you joining us here on Team Fortress TV. One of the biggest matches of the season, RONIN versus Froyotech here on Metalworks, trying to settle the score from last time as they took a loss to Froyotech on Product in week 2, but they want to get revenge this evening as we do head into our first mid here. Demo men making their way there, and we'll take a look into this first mid as they're battling it out down low right off the start here. Both demo men getting good stickies off onto each other. Mela going for the high bomb as he likes to do on Metalworks a lot of the time. He's already gotten inside of Froyo's. He's gotten all the way inside of their lobby area. Muma's going to be the first victim on this mid. They're going to find Clockwork as well. 2 excellent picks for RONIN to start off this mid. There's only 2 guys left. They just destroyed them on that mid. Only Patty and Free State. Patty is going to go down, so just Free State trying to do anything he can to maybe get 404, but RONIN with a very strong mid there, SLIN.
Yeah, and Sideshow posted on the thread that Mela was going to have an average night, and that was definitely not an average mid from Mela. He destroyed that. He took over the top right side, and Froyotech played the low ground, and Mela wrapped behind them, put pressure on the demo man, took down the medic. Like, Mela went huge on that middle. RONIN didn't really feel very much pressure at all. I mean, you saw that how one-sided that was. Now Froyotech in a very bad situation on last point. They're going to go with the sniper-heavy defense, expecting that push from RONIN to come at any moment now.
Yeah, they've got quite a hefty Uber advantage here. They pop in from the left side main areas. They're trying to send Podonsky and Shrugger forward. They found absolutely nothing with this Uber here so far, but they just stand on the point, focusing the point, playing the objective, and RONIN taking an early 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and that was really nicely played by them. I think one of the problems that a lot of teams have is just not putting that point pressure down there. So they got a lot of capture time. They didn't get a lot of frags, but they got what they wanted and got to a 1-0 lead after only 1 minute and 40 seconds of gameplay.
Very strong start for them. We'll see if Froyotech, maybe if they can get themselves back into the game here after such a strong mid from RONIN. We'll see how it plays out. Mela going for that high bomb. Once again, you're going to see that a lot from him tonight, getting on to Ninja Nick right away. Couldn't really get a good rocket, and actually the trap for Muma inside a lobby was able to take him down, and RONIN's just getting bullied out of this mid now. They're down on the low ground, trying to work their way back in. Rando went down. Ninja Nick and Muma both going to get taken out of this fight. Patty as well, so they got the frags, but Froyo still has a number advantage here, and you're going to have Free State trying to hunt these guys down. This will be a bit hairy for them as they try to make their escape. They don't have any respawns yet. Mela just
good
came
pop
up,
by 404.
Yep, had to use it.
Yep, and he's going to be okay here. And they did lose that middle. For Froyotech, they did a nice adjustment on the middle to take control of their top left side and not let Mela take that over. So that prevented him from doing anything. He went down really early on that middle, and then Froyotech were able to get the rest of that. Now, they did lose Ninja Nick, but Free State's force on 404 is going to even things out here, and Froyotech are in a comfortable position despite being down 1 round.
So we see we do have just about even Ubers here. They're just about dead even, really, as Froyotech's just kind of building up, as well as RONIN. Both teams just waiting to get these Ubers, and we should be seeing Froyo make some sort of a play. I'm not sure. What's your best bet as far as pushing into second here, SLIN?
Well, Froyotech don't want to go down 0-2. I think that would put Ronin in a very good, very good situation. So Froyotech have to convert this round. This is a must-win situation for them. I think I've seen Clockwork on Sniper do a lot, and this is the map that's decent for snipers, so I'm kind of expecting Clockwork to go over a sacrifice play. You see him out on an island by himself, taking over alley, and Ronin's actually kind of giving him all that space. They're all stacked, locking down that upper door. That's where they expect the bomb to come out of. So Shrugger's peeking underneath, making sure there's no roamer coming out from there. It looks like Froyotech are going to be moving the bulk of their team, the heals, all towards the alley. Maybe get Banny or Clockwork and angle in. What they're trying to do is get a force onto 404, but just the way that Ronin's playing, they're all grouped around 404, and 404's playing by that shutter door, so there's no way he's gonna get forced. Actually, Patty goes in for a bomb, and he gets taken down by Shrugger and the fall damage there, so yeah, that's just gonna reset things, and I think Clockwork will probably go back to forward spawn and swap the sniper, or maybe Patty will go for an off class. Oh, actually, Ronin's going for the push.
Yeah, they're moving in through the flank side here. Rando goes down, though, to Clockwork, so that will put a halt to their push, and they lose Mela as well. He's trying to jump out of the lower. That gives a 2-player advantage to Froyotech here. They're definitely looking to take this second point. I don't know if there's much that Ronin can do about it. Looks like they want to maybe send Badonsky in to stop it. No, they decide to back off. Smart play. And they're just going to have to sit it last year. Full Ubers on each side.
Yeah, it was a bit ambitious by Ronin, going for both of their soldiers dying. Mela tried to get out, but he didn't quite do it. Patty's actually here for the sacrifice, but 4-4 is only going to go down to half health. He's not going to pop Uber there, and things are going to even out once again. Ronin were going for this push on the one-man sacrifice. Patty goes down, and Ronin going to try for it once again.
They're going to go for it. Free State took a lot of damage, wasn't able to convert on a frag. They actually have, who's that, Shrugger's in. Seeing maybe if he could get Benny, got him down to half health.
Here as well. And Banny goes down to the spam damage from Rando, so that's going to be a 5-on-5. Patty's on Spy here. That's not really going to help out Froyotech. Ronin, if they pick up on this, if they can kill Patty, they could move on that, but Banny will be up in time, so if Ronin want to move, they need to do it now, and they're already spamming their way into lobby here. They haven't seen Patty in that corner. Rando hasn't bumped into him quite yet.
He's got a good little hiding spot. I don't think anyone will. He actually... he's decloaked over there, just waiting inside of that lobby. See maybe if they'll get aggressive again and he can get the pick, but it looks like Ronin's comfortable just going back to last and sitting here. You have Yomps coming up on NG and Mela on Sniper.
Yeah, I think one of the trends that we're seeing in TF2 right now is that the attacking team goes for an intentional misplay or intentionally putting themselves like 1 or 2 players down and allowing the defensive team to make the offensive mistake. So when Ronin pushed out there, they lost both their soldiers. That's exactly what happened. So Froyotech want to put themselves in a situation where they want to give Ronin a reason to push out and let Ronin botch the push. And Ronin, it's up to them to decide if they want to take the bait or not. Paddock's actually sneaking here into last, and he's probably going to get hurt if he uncloaks underneath this bridge. He's already bumped into and smacked down by Yomp, so that's going to stop the play there. And Ronin, again, they have to decide, do they want to go on the one-man sacrifice or not?
I'm trying to clear these stickies. Shrugger could have eaten it there. Badonsky goes down, though, to Banny inside of lobby, so that might cue something out of Froyotech here, getting that big demo man pick. But Free State got taken out by Mela just as they were getting ready to maybe make the play, but... I don't know, they're still poking in here. It looks like Banny's going to start to work his way in, as well as Clockwork and Ninja Nick. But he's already been hit down to about half health. Ninja Nick, he'll have to pop this Uber off. And the counter pop comes out of 404, but Froyo knows they don't have too much ground here. Patty goes down to Rando. And, well, Froyotech's still inside of this lobby.
Wow, Muma, nice stickies there on the main door. He takes down Yomps, keeps things even there, and Froyotech actually want to push the number advantage. Wow, they picked off Sugar as well over by Banana, so they got huge number advantages, and Froyo want to push into last. Now, Free State trying to put point pressure. Clockwork wrapping around the right side, tries some pressure onto Badonsky. Cap time on the point, halfway there, and Froyotech are going to even out the rounds off of Ronin's mispushes.
Yeah, just got him in there, and they picked him off one by one inside of the lobby, and that will allow Froyotech to tie this game right back up at 1-1 after Ronin had an excellent first round. Kind of saw some slow play there, but yeah, tied up.
This is what we've been talking about. I mean, we're just waiting for the offensive team to let the defensive team make the offensive mistake. Like, Ronin tries to go for the push out, they botch it, Froyotech capitalize. So we'll see what happens on this middle as Banny goes for the fast bomb behind them in the yard.
Ooh, I don't think it's going to work out too well for him. Rando makes easy work of him. A lot of frags coming through on the side of Ronin here. Actually, Muma, Patty go down as well. Mela lost his life, but still 3 down on the side of Froyo. Not too much room for them to work with, and they have to push back to the second point. And Ronin's already getting in here.
Yeah, there's no heavy classes alive for Froyotech, so there's going to be no opportunity for them to get a force onto 404. Clockwork is actually going to die very late in this fight. 22-second respawn timer. Oh my goodness. This should allow Ronin to push in the last, go for a one-man sacrifice, maybe even a two-man sacrifice, depending what they want to go for, or if they want to exchange the Ubers right away. Rando's already walking in. Looks like they're going to exchange the Ubers.
Now they send Rando, and Ninja Nick getting down quite low before popping that off, but he did get it off in the end, and both teams used their Ubers there. Didn't really find too much. Actually, Frag's coming through now. Banny goes down, they exchange with Rando, so Pocket's out of the picture for this one, and it looks like everybody's just backing off, kind of resetting, but Clockwork's moving his way under a bit. He went inside of lobby, and he's gonna pay for that.
Wow, Yomps did a great job punishing that, cutting him off from behind at the shutter door, and Clockwork going down again by himself, and that puts Ronin numbers up, and wow, Ronin have another chance to push last. Patty now putting damage into Shrugger, takes him down as the bomb comes in from Mela towards the point. A lot of damage from Mela, but he can't get any kills. Meanwhile, Patty on the other side tries to kill 404. Banny with a bomb to try and follow up, but 404 manages to stay alive barely.
Oh my goodness, I thought he was done. He got popped up by a good rocket from Patty, but Banny couldn't quite convert on the frag. That would have been big for Froyotech, but now Ronin has a full Uber, just got one of their respawns back. Oh, 404 taking a lot of damage. He'll have to pop this Uber off, trying to send Badonsky forward to catch some of these guys out. Yomp's able to get Clockwork. You still have a couple of Ronin guys inside a lobby, but they couldn't find all that much else, and that leaves Froyotech with a full advantage here, SLIN.
Yeah. But this sets up that situation where Froyotech have the incentive to push. They have the 80% Uber advantage that would kind of be enticing. They kind of want to push out on that, and if they play it wrong, then Ronin could capitalize. All they need to do is force them. They can give a second point and take it back later. All they need is a great force out of Ninja Nick if they can get it and not lose too many players. They're spamming that main door. Banny's having a hard time finding a way in here, and the more time that ticks off that clock, the closer 404 gets to his Uber.
Yeah, they're still looking to make a way in. Free State went down. Patty's going to fall as well on an exchange with Mela. So it's 2 down on the side of Froyo. Ronin with just 1 down, but they don't really have the Uber to push with yet. So they're just going to wait this one out. They held off Froyotech. Clockwork is up on Sniper. No off classes on the side of Ronin that we see so far. So it's going to just be even Ubers and the Clockwork Sniper. That's all we're looking at.
Yeah, and I think Ronin are fine with Clockwork on Sniper. You know, they just need to play back, bide their time. The score is even. They got plenty of time left in this first half, and they can just kind of do whatever they want. Shrugger's going to swap over to Sniper, and this is a battle of quite possibly 2 of the best snipers in North America right now. Shrugger's proven himself to be an amazing sniper, and Clockwork has been consistent for many seasons. So the thing is that sniper versus sniper actually favors the offensive team. It favors Ronin here, because if Clockwork gets a kill, Froyotech have a hard time pushing out, and if Shrugger gets a kill, they're going to go.
Shrugger had a long look over on that right-hand side. Ended up getting taken down by the body shot from Clockwork. He's going to ring off a headshot as well onto Rando. He'll have to fall back. And, well, the Froyo has that 1 number advantage. But like you were saying, it's just so hard for them to get out there and make anything of that 1 pick.
Yeah, I think that the main reason why you have a sniper on defense is you're trying to cover these long angles. You're trying to not allow Shrugger to just walk his way in for free and get angles on your medic or get angles on your key players or your demo man. But yeah, you really can't do anything once you get that kill. Shrugger peeked out very aggressively there. He just like walked into 3 Froyotech players, but he doesn't care if he dies at all here. He gets another chance, another life, another chance to try and get another kill here.
I'm trying to open that main shutter for Shrugger to get a peek, but it's not really all that much for him to look at. Got the body shot off on the Clockwork. So that'll be 1 pick, and Ronin wants to go with this one right away. They pop their Uber in and force it out of Ninja Nick. So we see an exchange, not really all that much. Slightly better Uber for Froyo. Rando goes down. Banny's inside a lobby right now. He's kind of, oh no, he is getting his reinforcements met up with him. Ronin lost 2, so it's kind of tough for them to hold this second now.
Yeah, they lost both their soldiers, and Mela was down pretty low as well, so they had to just give all that space. Froyotech are able to consume that, and Shrugger on Sniper is suddenly a liability for them because he can't find any angles here. They're just going to give up all of this space. The lobby as well, they're just going to back up to middle. Luckily for them, the Ubers are even, so Froyotech cannot push any further, but now you just are stuck on Shrugger on Sniper, so you're kind of in the same situation you were in before, but Froyotech did a great job pushing out at last.
Indeed they did. Got those good picks, allowed them to work out. So now it's We'll have to see how they want to play this, because no off classes on the side of Froyotech. Ronin is up on their Uber right now. Froyo still has a little bit more, but they didn't have enough advantage really to work off of. They've made their way back in a lobby. Ronin has. Maybe see if they can get a lane for Shrugger to peek. He's just looking through that lobby side entrance, but that'll just get spammed down anytime he
oh, there's
makes
a
his way over
2-on-2
there.
fight over here by the yard, and Shrugger picks off Patty with a headshot, so that's really good for Ronin. You can see the way that they're playing. They want to keep Podolsky and 404 alive, but they're happy to throw Mela out there to open up these opportunities, and Yomps and Shrugger were able to capitalize on Ali. Now Mela's coming in through the side, and Muma's not really in a position to pressure him. Shrugger goes down through main. That was thanks to Banny, but it's still pretty even here as the Uber comes in from 404.
They had to pop it off to save Rando, but they haven't forced anything out of Ninja Nick. They lost Clockwork, though. That's 3 players down on the side of Froyotech, desperately trying to get a force out here as Rando onto Ninja Nick inside a lobby. Nearly dies, but manages to stay alive. Ronin gets the second point.
Nice! Mela's able to jump into last and force the Ninja Nick. So Ninja Nick's in like the worst. Oh, nice! Sick juggle there from Podolsky as well. Pushes the Uber even further back. Froyotech are doing nothing with this Uber. Ronin played that beautifully there, and 404 happens to have a large Uber advantage. Now they're down 1 soldier. It's going to make it hard to hold this choke here, but Podolsky's always think he's all over it. And he does catch free state, so that's good for them.
Put him into the meat grinder. Patty's going to go down as well to Yomps, and that is not good if you're a fan of Froyo. As now they lose Muma inside of the right-hand lobby. Ronin looking good to take this last point. It's only 2 players up on the side of Froyotech. Clockwork and Ninja Nick trying to hold it off for the respawns as long as they can, but Free State won't get out there in time. Ronin picks up the round, and they now take a 2-1 lead.
Yeah, Banny's probably upset about that one. He always talks about how you want your Ubers to be aggressive. You want to be using your Ubers into the enemy, and they did the exact opposite there. They were playing back on their last point. Mela got a great force, and then Podolsky, the damage on top of that, pushing that Uber back, and then Ronin punished that very well. So Ronin out to a 2-1 lead, and it's first to 3 in this first half, so we'll see how this next mid goes.
Got the slight upper hand now, but Froyo is still putting up an excellent fight so far. A couple good rockets get off on a 404. He's knocked down to about a 3rd health. Banny's inside a lobby behind them. And Ninja Nick's going to go down to Yomps. A few other frags coming across. It's 2 down on each side, but Ronin has the heal advantage here to work with on this mid. Froyo's got slightly better positioning, though, so they got to find a way to get themselves in here. The Froyotech players trying to close in onto them, but they're finding the frags. Clockwork down, Banny as well, and Free State cleaning up as they came in and tried to take down 404.
Yeah.
I think that was a random death on the mid, took out Shrugger there, but Ronin gets the mid.
I'm getting nerd chills, man. Ronin playing that so well. They threw their soldiers in for Ninja Nick. They got exactly what they wanted. Then their double scout demo man played around their medic, and they played the long game. They kept 404 alive. There was a sacrifice attempt from Froyotech that was unsuccessful, and Ronin were able to retake middle here. And now this large Uber advantage is suddenly posing a big threat here on a Froyotech. They're going to have to play back. Ninja Nick wants to get this force, but he cannot afford to die here.
Definitely cannot, as Ronin now makes their way onto the second point. Froyo can't really do all that much to try and stop this from happening. It's just a lot of spam. They actually decide to send it on through. Banny's hiding around the corner and somehow makes his escape out of there. They found absolutely nothing with that Uber. They had the idea that they might be able to crunch them inside a lobby, but not the case, as now Froyotech has an Uber that they want to push back out in a second with as they pop it off on the Clockwork and Banny, sending them forward. They haven't really found all that much either. 404 with a good surf around to keep himself alive. They actually have a few hurt players right here, but they're closing back in onto them. Podolsky finds 2. Oh my goodness, that's a complete wipe. Ronin in, and they already have guys on last. Perfectly played by Ronin, and they take a 3-1 lead as we go into halftime, SLIN.
I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You give the defensive team an incentive to push, they botch the push, and you punish. And right there, when Froyotech came out with that bad Uber, it was all Mela and Shrugger coming around the right side flank, pushing the right side lobby, and killing the flank of Froyotech. Then they just collapsed on the combo, and then capped last almost instantly. I mean, that was a beautiful play by Ronin. They didn't lose a single player, and they wiped Froyotech. I mean, you just can't get any better than that.
That was very, very well played by Ronin. If you take a look at the stats on your screen there, you can see Yomps and Shrugger definitely doing some work in the frag department. Mela as well, top 3 fraggers on the server on that first half, and you know, they've been playing great so far. Banny sitting with 360 DPM as well. Not as many frags, but still 360 DPM coming out from Banny. Pretty solid stuff across the board there, but still 3-1 for Ronin going into halftime. Anything that strikes your eye there, SLIN?
Yomps is 16 and 13. That is ridiculous. Like, he is absolutely destroying. This is a guy that no one had heard of 3 seasons ago, and out of nowhere he was like, last season is the most improved player in Invite. This season he's been absolutely crushing, and Yomps is putting on a show. Sharker's up there as well, but man, Yomps is doing really, really well. I would just say that, like, Ronin have just been playing their game. They've been playing to their pace, and they've been playing the game they want to play. Froyotech need to find a way to disrupt that. They just can't be allowing Ronin to play that.
Yeah, and you were saying during our pregame is that that's something Ronin really likes to do, dictate pace and play at the speed that they want to play, and they've done that so far, and they have a 3-1 lead to show for it as well.
Yeah.
And playing excellent, but the question is, you can never count Froyo out, though. You know, they are still very much in this game.
I mean, the Froyotech that we're looking at is a team that, like I said, they've come under some hardship, but they're up against a team that's just very well polished. They've been playing together for many seasons, so Ronin just showing their dominance here. I think if you compare like team styles of like the major dominating teams of the past, I think that like classic Mix-Up and Froyotech had this very strong style that was like all about momentum. You get one pick and then you snowball that into something larger. Ronin are not like that. They're not necessarily doing that sort of thing. They're kind of more calculated. They slow the game down. They play to solid advantages, and as long as they're playing slow and playing to their style, it's like, how do you break that up? It's just a very slow momentum that's just kind of creeping up on you, and yeah, they've just been doing a really bang up job here.
Yeah, they are. They got a good two-round lead after halftime, and I'm sure Froyotech's having a good long talk about this one because they know how much this match means, you know, as far as the rest of the season goes, and just pride as well. So
yeah,
they definitely having a good long chat about this. I'm sure Banny's getting the boys in line and you know, making sure they're set to go into the second half. But I mean, you know, if there was one thing, SLIN, that you'd like to change that Froyo's been doing, or you know, any piece of advice for them, I mean, what do you say?
I mean, Ronin's core of their team is a demo man medic. That's what they like to play around Badonsky and 404. As long as those two guys stay alive, they're golden. So you need to find a way to put pressure on them. The problem is Yomps and Sugar are just on fire. So getting past those two is going to be quite a handful, but Froyotech need to find a way to put pressure on 404, get him down, and keep Ninja Nick alive.
We'll see if they do just that as we head into our second half here. Ronin with a 3-1 lead over Froyotech in one of our most anticipated games of this season. And Mela once again going for his high bomb off the start of the mid. He gets a couple spam rockets off onto Ninja Nick. Not all that much action here so far. Badonsky had to take himself out of the fight just for a moment to pick up on a health pack. Rando first victim on this mid, but Clockwork and Free Stick go down, and that's your scouts out of it for Froyotech, and they're just losing players left and right. Once again, Muma and Ninja Nick are the sole members of Froyotech trying to make it out of here alive, and it looks like they should be able to get out, but that is another Ronin mid-win.
Yeah, and another convincing victory for them. And again, the problem with Metalworks is that once you get control of that fourth point, it's very hard to take it back. Ronin, up 2 rounds, they're comfortable, they're chilling. They don't have to park the bus per se, but they can hang out here. And Froyotech are gonna have a very hard time getting themselves out of this position because Ronin are just gonna be so comfortable. They can put Sugar on Sniper, we've seen it before, and like I said, just playing to their pace, playing the game that they want to play. And Froyotech they need to find a way out of this.
Yeah, they are very comfortable right now, Ronin. They're sitting in a good spot. We do have even Ubers right now. There comes the headshot out of Clockwork to take down Shrugger. He wins the better of that sniper battle. So what Froyo decides to do now is the question. They will start to move themselves forward into lobby, but as we were saying before, it's so tough to push back out onto this second point, and Banny's already taken a good bit of spam, and a lot of Froyo players actually quite dinked up here. Patty, I thought maybe he might go down, he's in, but looks like he wants to back himself off into lobby. Not too much Froyo can do there.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is once Clockwork gets that pick, you need to go instantly. Like, as soon as it killed Rando here, you gotta go now. It's either now or never. And if you wait too long, Rando's gonna be up again. So if they want to go, it's gotta be now. Banny's trying to peek his way through the left lobby. There's no stickies on the shutter door. He knows it. Banny can get in here. They just need to move quickly, exchange these Ubers, get him out of the way, and use that 6-on-5 fight. They're just like up on the high ground. They do kill Patty with a trap from Badonsky, and that puts Froyotech in a very precarious situation. Shrugger actually wrapping behind them, going for the back hack.
Oh, they are starting to get in there. Shrugger's back there. Oh my goodness, he should be able to just stand on this point. I don't know if Free State's gonna get it on time. It's so close, but the Uber came out.
But does it matter?
Popped it up onto them, but yeah, they've got only 2 guys up. RONIN is able to finish off that round in the end. They lost a lot of guys out on that second point too. And man, look at that, 4-1 lead.
Yeah. And like Clockwork's getting nice headshots there. You saw he's getting good kills, but like they're Froyotech are taking the bait, right? Like RONIN are like, yeah, we're happy to lose Rando. Come push us. Like we'll just throw Shrugger behind you. We'll get better Ubers on you. Froyotech are just struggling in this match here. They need to get a mid win right now.
Yeah, RONIN's really been controlling nearly all these mids. I think Froyotech may have only won one of them so far, maybe. So RONIN's really been getting the better of them on these mids. They lose Ninja Nick on them as well. Shrugger is the first to go down. Here comes Froyotech getting a little bit of momentum back here as they've already found 3 frags, and 404 desperately trying to get out of here with his life to at least give them a fight on last, and it looks like they will get out, but just what the doctor ordered there, SLIN. I think they heard you. Froyo with the mid win.
Yeah, that was really good on them. Again, they're still not getting 404 down. 404 is just really good at this game. He's probably the strongest medic in Invite right now just because his positioning's so good. He made his way out, and he's kept the Ubers even. So you can see the way that RONIN's playing. They're not desperate to get out of the situation like Froyotech was. They're just happy to chill back on last. 404 playing by his shutter door. He's happy to let the time tick down and play the timer. Again, RONIN trying to play their game right now as Froyotech are going for the sacrifice play like per usual.
Patty unsuccessful on that, so RONIN wants to try and move up a little bit, but they've waited a while. They're actually going to exchange these Ubers inside of lobby, and there's not really all that much for Banny to find here as he's searching around for frags. Actually found Rando as he got a little bit happy here. 404 in a lot of trouble. Clockwork takes him down. That's a much needed pick for Froyotech there as they're 2 players, make that 3 players down now. RONIN is, so Froyo should be able to just muscle their way into this last point. It's Badonsky and Mela left, and Badonsky even goes down, so Froyotech after a while finally managed to close off the round. They get themselves back in slowly but surely, 4-2.
Yeah, it's looked like the team that wins the middle wins the round, huh? Is that just the way that Metalworks plays? It's like, it's hard to take it back. I mean, yeah, Froyotech exactly what they needed right there. They got mid, and then they got 404 down, and that's what got them the round. So they just need to do that 2 more times to even it up. They have 25 minutes to do it, so it's possible.
I think the key here is definitely winning these mids for either team. It just gives you so much good positioning moving forward in the round. I think this map is definitely even heavier on that aspect of winning the mid, but here we go. No frags as of yet. Mela's fighting it out with Banny. Banny goes down, and Froyo's now grouped up heavily by their lobby side, and those stickies were just waiting for Badonsky to do some damage. Ninja Nick, I think might go down to Yomps. Actually decided not to chase for it, but yeah, he hit the kill bind. I think he knew it was coming. So once again, RONIN setting themselves up in great position here.
And that's the problem with the old swapperoo. Both teams exchange sides. They just rotated around each other, and then if Ninja Nick is on the wrong side when they lose mid, he has to kill himself. That means they're gonna have no Uber for last. They're gonna go for the desperation, what do you call it, pro-lander setup, where they have a heavy engineer and sniper, but RONIN looking comfortable here. They're gonna get Badonsky respawned and healed up, and then they're gonna go for this push, and the gun's only level 2, so RONIN could close out the match right now.
They certainly have the opportunity to do so. That gun's up on the left-hand side. Badonsky finally takes that down, but that's about all they found with that Uber so far. Muma finds 3 with the stickies. Rando, Shrugger, and Badonsky all taken out. That's exactly what Froyo needed there. A good last hold. Much off the back of those stickies from Muma. Froyo ready to push out. They're on to second. RONIN's already hightailed it out of there. Mela was hiding, looking for a little something, but unable to find anything. So Froyo with the last defense, ready to push back in the mid.
Yeah, and Froyotech need to snowball this. They need to keep that momentum going in their favor. Banny trying to make space on middle. He goes down, though, to Shrugger's pistol. And they do get the counter kill onto Rando. Now Yomps is diving on the Ninja Nick. Wow, big pick there from Badonsky to help out. 4-4 is going to hightail it out, but they're going to keep that heal advantage. 4-4 escaping away from Patty. Can he? Patty's from behind. The rocket doesn't come in for them. Clockwork now trying to find his way from underneath, but 4-4 is positioning, stuck in the corner. Clockwork can't get him, and 4-4 manages to stay alive just barely. And that play from RONIN all in on Ninja Nick to get him down, and then keeping 4-4 alive, that'll get them back control of middle.
Oh, what a chess match here. I mean, Ronin's just, they're playing it so smart in each of these engagements. And now look at this. You know, they have nearly a full advantage to work with to get themselves back into
Yeah.
second point. Froyo is still getting their respawn. So Ronin's looking very good here.
Ronin is playing an Uber game. They're not playing a numbers game. They're happily throwing 2 or 3 players at Ninja just to get him down because they know 404 is going to stay alive. That's the key to all of this here is they have that 50% advantage walking in, and Froyotech know that they don't have Uber. They can't really do anything here, and Patty is not in a position for a force, so 404 is just going to walk it in for free, and yeah, that's going to be a free second point for them, and if they move quickly enough, oh my goodness, Mela in there as well to get Muma down, and geez, here comes the Uber from Ronin Blast.
That is a crucial loss for Froyotech, losing Muma right there. That's 2 players down. Ninja got taken out by Shrugger, and this should be a Ronin round to take the match. It's only Patty left alive. He will go down, and that is GG's across the board, folks. Ronin taking the game 5-2 against Froyotech. Very commanding fashion there. Froyo was definitely keeping themselves in it for a bit, but man, Ronin just too strong there in the end, SLIN.
Yeah, they look so polished in this match. I mean, you're going to lose some mids. They're going to catch you off guard sometimes. Sometimes stuff happens. But overall, Ronin looked very controlled. They looked very composed. And Froyotech just had a hard time finding their openings that they needed. They had a couple good breaks. I mean, that last one right there, Muma had a 3K on last with the sticky trap. But it just wasn't enough for them. And Froyotech are going to have to go back to the drawing board here. I know Banny hasn't been streaming his scrims, so they need to keep hiding those scrims because they need to practice and they need to look towards playoffs. As you know, both these teams are going to make it just fine, but yeah, this is a telling sign for how playoffs are going to go.
Yeah, definitely not the end of it though. I mean, you know, both these teams are going to be a big threat to each other going into playoffs, but definitely some implications in this match. And you know, unless something wild happens, Ronin should take that first seed going into playoffs. Froyotech sitting at 2. Like I said, unless something crazy happens, but it's looking to be the way things are going to be settled going into playoffs. But if we take a look at these stats, Yomp still just having a great game, 21-8 overall throughout that match. Mela sitting at 19-11 with 257 DPM, and Banny still put out that good DPM, but just couldn't really get a lot of those frags, sitting at 353, which was top on the server, but wasn't getting a lot of the frags there. Took a lot of heals too, but you know, put out that damage to make up for it. So just overall though, Ronin, as you were saying, very polished game there, and definitely deserving of that win.
I mean, you could just tell that Ronin, despite this being a match versus the number 1 and number 2 teams, that Ronin are just still a step ahead. Like, they're a team that's got everything figured out, that they're just very comfortable in their play style. And Froyotech still have a lot of bit of figuring out to do. Just looking at the stats there, the one that sticks out to me the most is 404 with 2 deaths and Ninja with 10. And that allowed 404 to get twice as many Ubers as Ninja. I mean, you could just see the way that Ronin was playing. They're happily able to just throw players at Ninja, get them down. And as long as 404 stays alive, they were just winning rounds off of the Ubers. So, yeah, I think Froyotech just need to figure out you can't just rely on winning mids to win yourself the match. And you're going to get some mids sometimes you're not, but you need an overall strategy that's going to work out. I think Froyotech have some figuring out to do.
I definitely got to go back to the drawing board. Not the end of them, though, by any means. We still got playoffs coming up, and that should be quite the treat as well. Playoffs
but
this
Rip
season.
Rip Pico 11, the 115 key unusual bet. He bet so much. He wanted Froyotech to win so badly. He thought he had it in the money, and that money's
Bible
mine.
thumb for him.
Oh, yeah.
The Bible thumps, man. What a sad day for that man. As somebody says in chat, thanks, Pico. You know, if you're a Ronin fan, you like his bet, but poor guy. Oh well, he'll have some other opportunities going forward. But man, that's a hell of a bet to lose.
Oh, that's rough, man. That's rough. Feels bad, man.
Oh, that feels very bad, man. Oh, poor guy. Well, I'll have a beer for you, Pico. Maybe it'll, you know, lessen up the wound a little bit. I don't know, but you'll have another shot. But anyway, that was not quite the game that we were expecting. But what were you gonna say?
I mean, I made my fair share of mistakes too. Like, I bet 5 keys on Froyotech, and then they lost Ash, so that sucked. You know, it happens sometimes.
Yeah, you know, it happens. It's a part of the betting experience. And Skis, I see someone in chat. Skis, I am 21. Thank you. As of October, I'm a grown man. I can have a beer if I please. I know I look like I'm 16, but that's besides the point. Anyway, um, yeah. So I don't know. Good game overall. Still, Ronin looked excellent. Definitely the more polished team here, and we should be seeing some good playoff action to come. We still got a few more weeks left in the season too, so who knows? Anything can happen. But any thoughts here on this match, Slin, before we kind of close things down for the evening?
Well, like I said, this match was all about implications as far as playoffs go, first and second seed. But I think the more important thing is trying to figure out who's going to get that fourth place finisher and clinch that last spot for playoffs. Because the top four teams of Invite get to go to playoffs, and right now it's looking like Ascent is number 1, Froyotech is number 2, number 3 is probably EVL because they have at least 9 wins. Let's double check tonight. They have 9 wins, so they're
Yeah.
basically guaranteed a spot for playoffs. Street Hoops is at 7-5 right now, and Bird Noises are at 6-6. That is a tight race. Running with Scissors, they unfortunately took a close loss against their other contender. They lost 3-4 against Street Hoops last night. So for Street Hoops, I think they're feeling more comfortable. Running with Scissors are probably out of it as a bubble team, but it's really going to come down to Street Hoops versus Bird Noises. So definitely stay tuned throughout the rest of the season so we figure out like, okay, who's going to make it into that 4th spot, and then of course playoffs is always exciting. I'm always looking forward to that, Gecks.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to casting that with you as well.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be, I think, one of the best playoff seasons we've seen in quite some time. At least it's looking that way now. So as teams fight it out for that 4th spot, we'll have a very exciting end to this season, the regular season, as well as playoffs. So definitely make sure you guys keep checking back here at Team Fortress TV, always covering these top invite matches. You got to stay tuned here for the latest news and all that on teamfortress.tv, as well as on Twitter at Team Fortress TV. And if you were interested, you can also follow us casters and producers on Twitter as well. Of course, mine is at Anthmiz, ANTHMIZZ. You got at Mr. Slin, right? For Slin's Twitter. Yeah, I believe at Mr. Slin. And then you also have at Dash Sniper, unless that's changed for Mathsad, Dash Sniper. So you can follow all of us and listen to us, rant and rave about TF2 and whatnot and things happening this season. But I think without further ado, that may close us out. I think I asked you once, but any closing comments, Slin? Give it to you one more time.
I love Andy. I love Dash TM. He's the best. Thank you. Man.
Yes. Big shout outs to him. I want to see some hearts in the chat for our boy Mathsad for just, continuing to stick with us, producing great stuff. Gotta love him. He's always here. I think every night this guy puts in a lot of time. So definitely thankful for him doing an excellent job putting us on the air. So without further ado, I think we will close things down for the night. Of course, great casting with you, Slin. As I said, check out Team Fortress TV for all of the latest updates in competitive TF2. You can find it all over there, 6v6 action, and discuss it with the others. So thanks for tuning in with us, guys, here on Team Fortress TV. We will see you again sometime soon for a cast. Not sure when, but it will be sometime soon, I promise. But thanks for tuning in with us, and we'll see you guys next time.